Yes, sir.
Bill Sebastian.
Hey, Bill.
Good to meet you. Glad you're here, Chris.
Thank you, sir. It's good to be here.
This may be a very sinister thought, but it just occurred to me yesterday that a week ago, this nation was literally the buzz and coming unglued with the fact that Hillary Clinton was guilty of all these crimes, and it was on the top of everybody's agenda.
Mm-hmm.
And then, 3 days later, we have a national tragedy of 5 policemen getting killed, and suddenly the attention of the United States is turned away.
Yep.
Is anybody, I don't have.
If I had $1 for every one of the emails I've gotten with that same question in their minds,
Okay.
I probably wouldn't be here talking to you all tonight. I'd be on a beach in Maui right about now. Everybody is thinking the same thing. And this is a consequence when you have a government that is not responsive to the people, when a government lies to the people. Mr. Obama's legacy will be one of lies. I articulated a few of them already. But it's not just him. It's his subordinates. It's everybody inside of his government. The number one call today is not to come clean with the American people. The number one call today is to spin, to lie, to deny, and do it for years until people go away. And the Brian Williams press, oh, look, shiny penny over here. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, look at that over here. Oh, yeah, shooting? Oh, great. Let's go over here. Clinton just got off. Yeah, oh, shooting. They're all too willing to comply. I cannot go down the road that says that we have fallen so far that somebody would have orchestrated the death of 5 police officers to divert the nation's attention away from Hillary Clinton. I'm not saying I can't get there eventually, but at this point I would say that theory or that possibility enters into somebody's mind because we have a government that we can't trust. We have a government that has betrayed the people for its own benefit, to enrich itself, to keep itself in power, and to continue the ability to impose its will upon us. And it leads to precisely those types of theories. And that is the danger when you don't have a government of, by, and for the people. And that's what I would say. I got a question that was written out for me. This is from Steve. Yeah, Steve? What are 2 or 3 topics we can choose from as conservatives to start a conversation with propagandized liberals to break the hold of the propaganda in their minds? Oh, boy. If the death of 5 police officers in Dallas can't shake them, I don't know what will. If the reduced standing of the United States of America in the world because of the light footprint leave from behind foreign policy of Mr. Obama isn't enough to shake them, I don't know what will. Problem is, the 20% of people who are committed liberals, they're in on the joke. They understand what Mr. Obama's agenda is. And they will lie, and they will spread they will wait for him to say, well, let me clear. If you like the plan, you can keep the plan. And then these state liberals will go out there, hey, you heard Obama. If you like your plan, you can keep your plan. And then let's discover that he lied. Oh, come on, politicians lie all the time. I get that all the time from libs on the Facebook page. My recommendation to solve the problem ultimately, get control of our schools back.
Amen.
The conservative movement has abandoned government education. The system of government education is a failure. I'll say it again. Government education in this country is a failure because it exists to perpetuate itself, not to educate children. They want butts in the seats, not to make sure they're educated, make sure they get their money from the federal government, to make sure they get their money from the state government. That's a predicate that's set on the wrong example. It's set on the wrong ideals. Your primary objective should be educating children, period, in a sentence, not indoctrinating children. Common Core, and And I know that's a cancerous word, and it ought to be, because of the way it's being exploited. Common Core is merely a set of standards. But liberals have been given carte blanche in places like New York, in places like Illinois and California and other, even here in the state of Texas, to teach Common Core with some life lessons involved. Now, we all see the math problems, which are just outrageous. Okay, we all know that the way this new, back in my day, they called it the new math. I'm Generation X. So they call it the new math. It's even worse under Common Core. It's silly. It's downright silly. Yeah. But what we need to introduce, the number one element I believe to save education is competition. They don't have to earn anything in the government-run education system. They don't have to earn a thing. If they fail, oh well, government comes in, takes over, some administrators get fired, maybe. Not in the era of Obama. Who gets fired for lousy performance in the era of Obama? Nobody. They get promoted. Yeah, pro-American generals do get fired. Yes, that is true. Pro-American generals get shown the door. Anybody at the Border Patrol that doesn't want to go along with the agenda down there at the southern border, which is, come on in, let me give you some food, let me give you some lodging, courtesy of the American taxpayer. If you're not on board with that agenda, then you're asked to leave the American Border Patrol. And the Border Patrol personnel will be the first ones to tell you that. And they're left with the unenviable choice of, well, do I feed my family or do I go along and just pray to God that the country survives Obama? Education. The conservatives' abandonment of education has had profound damaging effects on this country. And I don't want to battle them on that field. I want to change the field. I'm a big proponent of vouchers. I'm a big proponent of choice. The liberals there's only one thing they agree about choice on. Everything else, it's government imposition. But we want freedom to kill babies. Yes, congratulations. That's all. That's the only choice that liberals believe in is to abort children and to kill them in the womb. And our government-run schools, another example. We can sit there and say, look, we deserve a choice there. That is one of the hills we ought to choose to fight on. But let me ask you this on a formal question. How many of you are happy or think that the Republican Party, as it's constituted today with its leadership, has been effective, or should I say interested in opposing this large left our country has been going through? Show of hands, how many of you think that they have shown interest in fighting this large left? Go ahead. Show of hands.
Hey, Bruce.
How many of you think that, with the exception of Ted Cruz, he is the only one I can think of. So there has to be some soul searching done inside the Republican Party. I get the sense, and I don't know if you guys have all thought about this too, and this is where my conspiracy theory comes in. That somebody in Republican leadership land knows something that they're just not sharing with us, and that their job is to just go home and make a good show of it, have a bunch of show votes, go home and make their commercials. I voted against Obamacare 40 times. Congratulations. When you knew it would fail. However, there was one senator who said, well, why don't we do something that will actually stop the dang thing? And he was labeled a pariah by his own party. And a wacko bird, indeed. All right, questions back there, sir? Yes, sir.
I got a question for you. With the Supreme Court justices going ahead and, the Republicans not standing their ground, how is this going to go ahead and affect us once the Republicans go ahead and try to sneak the next Supreme Court justice in?
Oh, so you're operating on the assumption that Hillary Clinton wins?
No, I'm just saying, since Obama the Republicans pretty much given.
Well, the one good thing they've done, I mean, this is the one good thing I can say about Mitch McConnell, who blamed people like me for all of his problems and his ineffectiveness. You guys heard that, right? I have it on YouTube. Y'all, I was on the Blaze. I was filling in for Dana on the Blaze on TV. And it just happened to be the day that Mitch McConnell said, well, I think that the conservative talk radio is the one that is causing an unrealistic expectations of elected Republicans. Mine, Rush's, Sean's fault. It's our fault. That we have caused all of you to have unrealistic expectations of our elected leaders. To which I said, Mitch, you're just like Obama. You can't take responsibility for a darn thing that you do. There's a whole video, I won't subject you all to it, but the one good thing Mitch McConnell has done, one that I can think of, is blocked Judge Merrick Garland from ascending to the High Court. For all the good it did us on a lot of rulings, this was a bad session for conservatives in this country. It's another reason why I'm praying to God that Trump gets in there, because you're looking at Hillary Clinton, 2, 3 Supreme Court justices. The only branch of government that has stood up to Barack Obama these last 10 years has been the judicial branch, who has ruled that he has violated. Folks, the current occupier of the Oval Office has violated the Constitution on numerous occasions, the Supreme Court has said, or lower courts have said. Did your Brian Williams press outlet report it that way? Obama was done, dealt with sticking feet. No, he was found to have violated the Constitution. The sitting president was found to have violated the Constitution. Madam, a lot of I can't come down on the anchors so much. A lot of these anchors don't write their own copy. I mean, when I was in news, there was a lot of producers that wrote up their copy, and I would go through and I would change things to the best of my ability. I got in trouble one time for saying Democrat Party. I was a conservative, but I tried to, when I was in news, I tried to put it straight down the middle, but it came out, it was written Democratic Party in the teleprompter. I said Democrat Party out of habit. Why? Because I love Rush Limbaugh. I've always loved Rush Limbaugh, and Rush Limbaugh is a hero of mine, and so the Democrat Party just came out. It wasn't intentional, but it just did. And boy, liberals in the Metroplex lost their minds. Democrats, Democratic Party, which we all know why Rush does that, right? There's nothing democratic about the Democrat Party. We all know it. Yeah, ma'am, go ahead.
Can we touch on 3 things, or can you? Did you see General Loretta Lynch brought before Congress today? Did you see any part of that?
I saw that she went up there, took her lumps and left, and avoided all the questions, avoided everything, which is what, it all depends on what your definition of it is. I want you to know something. You know what? These Republicans, they're out for me. You know what? I just try to do the best I can. I try to do the best I can for the people. You know what?
That's great.
People, they just come at me from every single direction I can. It's the Clinton playbook.
And then, secondly,
Deny, obfuscate, deny. Go
I
ahead.
watched all of them, and they were the congressmen were pretty infuriated, especially Trey Gowdy. And there were just numerous ones that were. The other thing is, this cop killing, I saw also, did you see the New York where de Blasio was coming through a great big hall, and all the police officers turned their backs as he walked through? It was videotaped.
That was some time ago, was it not?
Yeah, I thought there's another one recently.
Yeah, I remember them doing that because, yeah, Bill de Blasio, Comrade de Blasio, as many of us refer to him. That guy's the real deal. He's a full tilt communist. That guy's the real, and police officers know exactly the caliber of man he is.
And then on Obama's speech today,
Yes.
the police did not clap.
I didn't see,
It's on
Fox, I was
Facebook.
watching it on Fox. How many of y'all were watching it on Fox? I didn't see the crowd reaction, and I think they did that on purpose, so that we wouldn't catch a glimpse of what was really going on. I don't know. I can't verify it. If you're telling me they didn't
It's on
clap,
my Facebook.
it is. Well, that's good. You know, I was one of the few out there saying, you know, like, I would not feel at all bad if the police officers turned their back on a man who was turning his back on them.
Yeah.
And President Obama, throughout his entire occupation of the Oval Office, whether it's the Cambridge police, to his assumptions about police skills across this country when it comes to race, he has been deplorable, despicable to law enforcement.
But he wants them to protect him now if he's out in public.
Oh, well, yes. Men with guns are okay when you're protecting liberals. Liberals love men with guns as long as they're protecting them, but California, their Senate just voted 28-8 to exempt themselves from a gunman.
Of course.
Exempted themselves. It's like they took the cue from our elected leaders up in Washington, D.C. when they gave themselves $12,000 stipends so they could afford the hit that Obamacare was going to give them. You know what the irony of that is? And by the way, how many kids we have in here? I got two. There is a video out there I want you all to look up. And it was on TV, it was on the Blaze. But the name of it is the C word for poo-poo, sandwich, which is Obamacare. These guys, and it was 9 minutes, I just laid into Obamacare, this was some years ago. But this law that was so fantastic, they had to vote themselves $12,000 stipends to absorb the costs. And guess who, what the slap in the face is guess who pays for that? You and I get to pay for our increased tax bills and our medical bills and everything else that comes with Obamacare, and we have to pay for their extra $12,000 for themselves and their staff to avoid the pain from Obamacare. That's how screwed up that law